All right, so we'll get started. Here we go. So Temple Rome info session. We will move forward. Just to get everyone in the mood, I have this really lovely video of the Temple Rome campus, just to give you some visuals and some music first, and then we'll jump into what the campus is all about. Nope.
Nope.
Something has happened. We don't want the presenter view. Sorry about that.
Let's go back.
Let's go back. So was everybody able to hear that? Johnny, were you able to hear the video when I turned it on?
Yeah, we can hear the video, the sound from your microphone. So if you type or anything, we can hear you typing and the music. So because it comes from the audio of your computer speakers.
But I think there's a way to fix that. Share computer sound. Okay. We're gonna watch this video again.
Let's try.
Let's try. Nope.
Brava.
Grazie. Now the Zoom is how do we escape? Now how do we escape?
While you escape, I just want to say hi to Haley, Ann, Carolina, Madison, and Liam. Guys, I'm just curious about Where are you guys from, and what's your major? Can you put in the chat box just to say where are you from and what's your major, just to get to know each other.
Yeah.
If you want, while we figure. Okay, here we go.
No, that's great, because then, and if you're applying for spring 21 or applying for a futures term after that, we'd love to know. It's the only way to get it all the way back. So we've got some people chatting in.
Anne from North Carolina, ciao, journalism. Haley from Doylestown, PA, and I'm an advertising major. Carolina from Brazil, bom dia, but I'm living in PA. My major is international business. Eu falo pouco português. Medicine, I'm from Rhode Island and I'm a psychology major with cognitive neuroscience. Wow. And Liam from Boston and New Hampshire, and bioengineering chemistry. Wow. Thank you guys. So this is great because it will help us to get to know you better. This is great.
Yes, thank you. And also, I forgot to mention when I was introducing myself, but I am also an alumni of this program. So I was a student with Gianni myself. I studied abroad at Temple, Rome for a full year when I was a junior at Tyler School of Art. So that was 2011 to 2012. When I graduated from Temple, did a couple things outside of school, but then I went back to Temple, Rome, and I worked as what's called an alumni assistant. So sort of helping Gianni with student affairs, or helping with some academic things, and working as a resident director or resident life assistant, you could say, for the campus. So that was 2017 to 2018. So I have a lot of experience with this campus, a lot of experience living in Rome, and I'm so excited to be your Rome program manager now and share this amazing campus with all of you. So I'm really glad you're here and excited to apply. Thank you for your patience with the video hiccups there. And thank you for introducing yourselves into the chat as well. Oh my gosh, arrow buttons don't work. But so some things we'll talk about today with the info session. You know, obviously, why Temple, Rome? Why do you want to choose this campus as your study abroad opportunity? We'll talk about the academic offerings at the campus, different semesters you can go, different summer terms you can go. We'll talk a little bit about internships, housing options. Gianni's going to help us a lot with some of the cultural enrichment opportunities that are available to you in Rome and outside in Italy. We're going to talk about some challenges you might face when studying abroad in Rome, because obviously, you know, you're branching out of your comfort zone. That's what studying abroad is. So what are some spaces that might be challenging when you get to Rome, but then what's some of the support system that you'll have when you get to Rome? We'll talk about how to afford studying abroad, how to finance this opportunity, and then of course, how to get started with an application. So a little general about the program. Temple Rome began as a study abroad program for Tyler School of Art students. It's over 50 years old as a campus. The very first students went to Temple Rome via boat. So you have a nicer experience and a faster experience taking a flight over there. But just to give you an idea, we are one of the longest standing study abroad programs in Rome. Definitely one of the most recognizable and highly regarded in the city as well. And we've branched out from just a Tyler School of Art program, and we offer experiences for anybody from engineering to biology, other courses in the humanities, art history, sociology, journalism. We have opportunities for students in dance over the summer. Really, this campus has grown into a space for all Temple students, all non-Temple students, anybody who wants to pursue an education in Rome. Temple Rome is set up to assist. You'll notice there in the leftmost photo, the campus, that Villa Caproni behind the students walking on the bridge. Villa Caproni is where all of our classes are held. So if you're familiar with Temple main campus, Temple Rome is similar to like our Center City Temple campus. It's just one building. All of your classes will be in there. unless, pardon me, I don't know if you hear the trolley behind me, but unless your classes are meeting on site. So a number of our classes, especially art history, some of the visual arts, Italian classes, we're using Rome as our campus. So that's our main hub there, the Villa Caproni, but we're going to be taking you out into the city, seeing the artwork in person that you're learning about in your lectures, drawing from life on the bridges there, and getting to use, again, the city, the country as your campus. And then a couple fun photos of our new campus. So I said the campus is over 50 years old, but we did recently renovate. So these are some of our new spaces, new lecture halls in the downstairs level, new study rooms on the upstairs near the library. And here is where Rome is outside of that building. So the map here, the Villa Caproni, you'll see on the right, that's that red dot, right up alongside the Tiber River. So think of the Tiber as like the main artery that flows all the way through Rome, kind of like the Schuylkill, definitely more beautiful than the Schuylkill. But we're right on the river, only about a 7-minute walk from this piazza here, the Piazza del Popolo, which is sort of the starting hub for so many amazing places in Rome to get to the center. So you can walk from here to the Colosseum, you can walk to the Pantheon. This photo was taken from the Villa Borghese, which is a beautiful park with museums in it, statues. You can see across the river there to the Vatican City is on the other side of the river. And we're right in the heart of Rome. Many other campuses and study abroad opportunities exist in Rome, but very few can really say that they are right in the center as we are. And that just gives you even more opportunity to, again, use the campus, or use the city as your campus and really dive into the majesty of Rome. Some highlights of our program. So, you know, our professors in the academic portion of Temple Rome really is the #1 piece here. Of course, it's called Studying Abroad. We have faculty from all over Italy, all over Europe. We have visiting faculty from main campus, and these are all experts in their field. You're not going to find an uninteresting class in Rome. I mean, I hope none of your classes are uninteresting here on main campus either, but to say that you are working with some of the premier thinkers, writers, artists in Rome is very true. We have, you know, our faculty has been here for multiple decades, some of them, and they're bringing you into Rome in a way that I think very few other people can, and really helping you become those global citizens that we hope you become through studying abroad. We have it's a fairly large program, but still much smaller, obviously, than what you'll encounter here on main campus. So we have between usually about 150 to 300 students a term, and that's for a semester-long term. Usually our summer terms are closer to that 150 end. So you can kind of think of it as like a small liberal arts college vibe. You'll be in a more intimate setting. We have students from not just Temple, but over 30 other institutions. So we have students from Duke, Penn State, a lot of students from Chapman, which is out in California. We also have a really amazing program called the Temple Rome Entry Year Program. So these are freshman students beginning their college experience at Temple Rome. And a lot of these students, some of them are American, but some of them are Italian, and you'll be mixed in with these students as well. So it's a great diverse group of people from all over the world and all over the country that you get to meet. As I said, our courses are offered at that Villa Caproni, but then many of them are offered on what we call on-site. So you see here some engineering students at the Leonardo da Vinci Museum, which is just a stone's throw away from campus, getting to use some of the obviously not original Da Vinci inventions, but getting to see a replica of something that he engineered. So, how are we teaching you what you probably learn here on main campus, but incorporating the city as part of your learning experience? Many of our classes also have academic excursions, which meet over the weekend. So this is an opportunity to leave Rome with your class and do a deep dive into one of the topics you're discussing. So maybe you're taking a Renaissance art history class and you're going to go up to Venice with your class and go to more museums, see more Renaissance era art and churches up there. Or like this engineering class, maybe you're going to take that and then you're going to go up to Modena and you're going to go see the Ferrari factory and test drive a Ferrari race car. And on your way back, you get to see some premier aqueducts and talk about ancient Roman engineering. So again, getting you outside of the classroom and really into Rome to have that immersive experience in the country and the city. All of our classes at Temple Rome are taught in English, except of course for Italian classes. Upper level Italian is not required, but definitely encouraged that everybody, if you've taken Italian before, that you continue to study Italian once you get there. If you have not taken any college level Italian courses prior to studying abroad for a semester in Rome, you will need to enroll in Italian 1001. Italian 1001 is not required for summer term students. And again, if you've taken 101 prior to coming to Rome, you're not required to take it again, but we do definitely encourage you to take 1002 or take an upper level, continue your experience studying the language, because of course, the best way to really learn about a country, learn about a city, learn about a new culture is to speak the language, or at least try to speak the language and join in on those that local experience. So a little bit about our internship opportunities. We do have 4-credit unpaid internships at Temple Rome. So you'll receive 3 credits in a variety of disciplines. So if you're advertising, we do have advertising credit, journalism credit, art history, international business, and more. So we offer over 40 different opportunities with various Italian and multinational companies, schools, nonprofits, galleries, local artists, startups, and all of these shift throughout the semesters and throughout the summers. So we have, a portfolio of opportunities that are always changing. We're always adding to them, growing different opportunities, and this is really to your benefit. So I say this because a lot of times students will come to me and say, oh, well, I heard about this one internship that I really want to do. But the way Temple Rome works is we're looking at your resume that you're going to submit, we're looking at your cover letter, we're looking at your interests, and then my colleague in Rome, Dr. Barbara Kane, is going to take all of that information from you, take her portfolio of internship opportunities that are available, and then really tailor an experience for you. So setting you up with an interview with one of these companies or startups or local artists and finding what's going to be the best fit. It's not really I don't want to say plug and play, but it's an experience for you to grow in your career and also your studies. So we take a lot of effort to fit you into a group that's going to help you grow in these ways. Again, this is all coordinated through the Temple Rome campus. So my role as your program manager is to help you with the internship application, which is available to you after you're accepted to the program itself, and then move you over to Rome, get the ball rolling there. A lot of times those interviews will happen before you get to Rome so that you're already set up with your job once you get there with your internship. So some examples of some internships that students have done in the past. SQ Law Firm is one that we do frequently work with. So this young man, Alexander, was a legal intern for them, and he was able to have some amazing experience to put onto his resume coming home. We also have experiences for students who are looking for teaching experience. So not just internships, we'll talk a little bit more about in a cultural enrichment way, some ways you can volunteer, but here's a great way to learn a little bit of young child Italian as well and get some extra work doing education in Rome. I actually had an internship myself. As a Tyler student, I was studying painting at the time, but I had an opportunity to work with a local artist named Maurizio Savini. He and I are still close friends. He makes sculptures out of bubble gum. So that was a fun opportunity to build some bubblegum crocodiles for a semester in Rome and get to see a cool artsy side of the city. All right, so you're taking classes, you're taking internships, but where do you live when you get to Rome? We have a number of options in a typical semester. So housing might shift for spring 21 specifically, because we are still working in a current coronavirus space, and we can talk a little bit more about what that looks like for studying abroad in general. But in a typical semester, we work with a company called Residence Candia, and that's that first photo on the top right there. Residence Candia is a very centralized location, apartment style housing. So it's sort of like a conglomerate of 4 or 5 buildings. All the rooms are a little bit different. All the rooms are a little bit smaller, but these are our temple-oriented dorms. So the dorm option, if you will. In future semesters, we're probably going to work with another company in addition, but it'll be a similar idea of you're in an apartment with a couple other students, maybe up to 6. You'll have a kitchen, you'll have your own bathroom, and then there will be other students nearby in their own apartments that are shared. We also have homestay options, which are a really fantastic opportunity to have a more immersive Italian experience. So this is a chance to live with an Italian family somewhere outside of the dorm experience. So you might be with, an older woman whose children have moved away. You might be with a younger family with kids. Some of these wonderful families have pets that you can live with if you're, missing having a dog around at home. And the homestay option does afford you your own individual room within these apartments, within these homes. So that's a great opportunity for students who think that they might need a little bit more private space while studying abroad. And the homestay option is also a little bit more expensive than the dormitory Candia option. And this is because dinner and breakfast are included a couple of nights a week for students living in the homestays. So these are family meals that your homestay hosts will cook for you and have available to you. So again, you can really grow into this family and have dinner with them and share a meal. It's not required to speak Italian to participate in a homestay, but it's a really great opportunity to, enhance your language learning. And then of course, for our Temple students and some of our non-Temple students, if your homeschool allows it, we have the opportunity for you to choose your own housing. So maybe you want to get an Airbnb instead and live on your own somewhere else in the city. That's totally acceptable. This is a great option for students who know that they have a high degree of independence on their own already. Because, when we say independent housing, we mean it. We're not able to really coordinate with your landlords or navigate any sort of funky payment issue that might be going down. So it's a great opportunity to save some money if that's what you're looking for and to have some more independence. But if you need a little bit more assistance living in a new country, a dormitory or the homestay option might be a better fit for you. Gianni, did you want to add anything about housing?
You said everything. I mean, the Residence Candia, as you said, it's very central. It's located like walking distance from the Vatican, literally walking distance. You see the stairs. So like you have like a stairs and you see the wall, the Vatican walls. So it's very centrally located and the area is really nice, full of restaurants, bars, supermarkets, gyms, anything you might need during your semester. So even for homestay family, they're like, all the apartments are more or less very, close to temple, to the temple building, as temple Rome. So they're not very far, or you might get like a bus or metro to get to temple. Residence Con is like 20 minutes walk. What is it? I mean, for Rosie, walking fast is 15, but maybe for other people walking like a little slower could be 20, 25. Otherwise, there's a bus or a metro. So.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So one of the, I would say the best parts about studying abroad at Temple Rome, and probably the thing that students remember the most, is this orientation trip that happens after you do your week-long orientation in Rome. You go up to Umbria, which is a province just north of where Rome is in Lazio. And you go to a tiny medieval town called Todi. You have a lovely afternoon sipping cappuccino or espresso and wandering this beautiful town. And then you all, as a group of new Temple Rome students, go to Titignano, which is an agriturismo just outside of Rome. And an agriturismo is a unique to it, well, maybe not unique to Italy, but you don't find these out in the US very often. It's sort of like a castle-like bed and breakfast. So it's this beautiful villa that is going to make you a 15-course meal, all with their own wine that they've made on site and the food that they grew. And it's just a really beautiful time to come together as a cohort and celebrate being in Rome together. I still dream about the Pappardelle Cingale.
How many times did you go to Titignano, Rosie? How many times?
I've been to Titignano, Todi, many, I don't know.
And you're still like excited about it.
I still think about it all the time. And there's never enough pappardelle. There's never enough.
I know. It's as you said, Todi and Titignano, this trip is at the end of the orientation, which is a week long. The whole orientation is structured in order for you to get to know more about the Italian culture, Roman culture, and to get to know each other well, like better. So through activities, we have like any sort of activity and meetings and everything. That's the week where you guys really get to know each other, and you know the neighborhood of Temple Rome, the neighborhood of the residence, or wherever you live, and you learn how to pronounce the first words in Italian if you have if you know any Italian. To make the first mistakes. That's the way to get to know. And then at the end of the orientation, we go to this trip, which is a celebration of the orientation, as Rosie said.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Yep.
So we do, of course, I'm going to help prepare you for your time in Rome with all of the pre-departure before you arrive, and then Gianni will manage the orientation once you get to Rome. And then throughout the semester, we have opportunities to stay involved on campus. So you're not just using Temple Rome as the place to either lay your head in the dorm or take a class. But again, this is a lively hub for both Italians and American students. We have lecture series that involve local speakers, local artists come to do lectures. If you're in an architecture class, you're going to be learning from local architects in a very specific architecture focused series. We also have local political activists come to speak about like the Black experience of living in Rome, or the experience of people who don't have Italian citizenship. So they'll come do lectures, and these are always changing, of course, and we're adding new ones all the time, bringing new people in. So I would highly recommend participating in these while you're in Rome to get a better sense of Italy as a whole, and of what is it really like to be in Rome, and how can we supplement your study abroad experience with a more authentic local experience. Temple Rome also hosts a gallery of art. So at the end of the semester, we'll always have a student exhibition with all of the student artist work. But throughout the semester, there's usually like 3 or 4. local artists doing gallery shows themselves. So these are always great opportunities. They're open to both Italians and you as students. So I hope you go to every gallery opening, look at the work, you know, hobnob, rub elbows with the Italian artists coming in and sipping some wine with these Italians who are looking at the art with you. And it, again, just shows that Temple Rome is not just a study abroad campus, but really a cultural hub for Rome. We also have Italian cultural labs. So these are baked into Italian 1001. They're essentially like the on-site experience for an Italian class. So how can you use what you're learning in class, not just, you know, conjugating a verb or, you know, io sono americana, but, you know, using your Italian in a more authentic way. So maybe you sign up for the Italian with Dogs class, and local, you know, ASPCA or whatever the equivalent is in Rome, come with the dogs, and you learn how to say sit, stay, come, fetch in Italian. Or you sign up for a ricotta making class and you're learning some Italian phrases, speaking Italian with the chef there, and then going home with fresh made ricotta that you just created. And there's a number of these experiences throughout the semester that you sign up for, and those are part of your Italian class. And then, of course, Gianni, the king of student activities, can lead us in a description of what are all the amazing things you do every semester, Gianni.
Yeah, as you said, like we also have at Temple Rome, we organize a lot of extracurricular activities for Temple students, but not only Temple students. We invite Italian students to come over because we want you to get to know Italian students, maybe the Italian university system through the students, and we invite also other study abroad programs in Rome. So, and together with them, we organize cooking classes. So we go like to a professional kitchen where you start making your own pasta and your tiramisu, and together with other friends. You assist to a wine tasting night with the description, with a sommelier explaining like all the secrets of the Italian wine and the wine in general, how it is made and everything. We also have a lot of activities about sport activities, soccer, calcetto, soccer with Italians, basketball, volleyball. It will be fun for you guys if you have practiced any of this activity to exchange and to get to know and to play with other Italians, maybe Italian students or maybe other study abroad students in Rome from other programs. We also have a yoga night, or we have at the end of the semester, we have the celebration of the end of the semester with the Serata Italiana. All the students who participated, who are enrolled in an Italian class will have to perform in Italian through videos or like a songs or acting or anything. It's something really simple and it's very fun, not only for people doing it, but also for people watching it. And of course there's food and everything, and it's really fun. So all these activities are available during the semester. It's really easy. You have a big calendar at school where you can see what's going on, and you can sign up just for the activities you're interested in. You don't have to sign up for all of them. You can if you want, or you can sign up just for those you're interested in. We also have some visits during the, not only the mandatory trip with your classes that Rosie told us about before during the weekends, but sometimes we have some visits to Order of Malta, like for example, to visit some places in Rome of interest. We have like a special, how do you say, like, they let us in like with
a private tour, yeah.
Yes, to do some of these things. Again, everything it's advertised and it's in there. Getting back to what Rosie said about the gallery of art, we have this gallery openings. They're really nice because a lot of Italians come over and you get to know a lot of people as well. We're gonna have on September 21st, our first gallery opening in person at Temple Rome. And it will be both in person and virtual. And so if you want to follow us to see what's going on, for example, I just put it like here, and I'm going to put it in the chat box where you can see us. It's on Facebook, and you can see how a typical, I don't know, because it's a new thing for us. It's going to be different, a little bit different. But again, we're excited because we're starting again doing things in person. We're opening the doors of Temple Rome to Italians to come to see this exhibition at Temple Rome. So watch us on Facebook, and then of course we're going to have another event called Walk Around Rome with a licensed tour guide of Rome. We're going to go around Rome to see the beauty of the historical center. It's a way, we're live, we're going to be live. So you can participate asking questions live, but it's a way to see how Rome is right now, nowadays. What's going on in Rome? How the Italians are living right now. We're entering a bar, we're entering a cafe, we're like walking through like the aisles, we're gonna go to stores. So you're gonna have like an idea of how the situation is at the moment in Rome. I just put it like in the chat box. So follow us on Facebook, and then you can follow this activities live.
That sounds great. I'm going to definitely be at that tour of Rome, if only because I miss Rome so much. But it's also so exciting to see everyone in the city really starting to come out of this this nightmare of coronavirus, and how the city is handling every precautions and all the health pillars.
Oh, I love these photos. This is from the wine tasting night, the cooking class, a gallery openings. That's a student exhibition, the first one on the left. And then we have a salsa night on the right. Students enjoying and learning some basic steps of salsa with the Italians. It's really like fun events that we have at Temple Rome.
So wonderful. All right. So, I mean, of course, some challenges will come up when studying abroad. This isn't unique to Rome by any means, but we do want to obviously share with you all of the amazing things that can happen in Rome, but remind you that you are branching out of your comfort zone. You are moving to another city where maybe you don't know the language, maybe you're not familiar with, authentically Italian culture, or simply, as we move through any part of our lives, how do our expectations come up against reality? And I think that as a student in a university, you're well aware of how the stress of school can impact your mental health. You have resources and maybe coping mechanisms available to help you through regular college experience. But how are some of these issues heightened or affected by studying abroad? I do worry that sometimes it's so exciting to study abroad. Rome is such a magical, beautiful city that we forget that it's still real life over there. It's still, you're still students, you're still working hard, and you might come up against some things. So I want to just give you a little bit of background about what it's like to live in Rome for 3 months to 4 months, or maybe even 6 weeks if you're doing a summer program. So Rome is certainly a modern city, which means that it has modern issues. Anything from public transportation will not arrive on time. If you think that SEPTA is a little bit frustrating, go to Rome and you will find a not very timely bus system. But in addition to that, it's a crowded city, it's a busy city, it's a very diverse city, it's a city with, crime, but a different level of crime than, say, Philadelphia, or a different kind of crime. It's a city that is dealing with its own issues in terms of local politics. And, here in the US, we're having really important conversations about race and diversity, Black Lives Matter, and how is Rome dealing with these conversations as well? They're coming at it from a different perspective, a different history, but it's really important to know that Rome is also having these conversations. There are also rallies, there are also important movements for more equity among Italian citizens. So this is all also to say that Rome and Italy can feel a little bit more homogenous than, say, Philadelphia or wherever you are from. Italians have a very set Italian lifestyle, right? I mean, we think about Italian American culture and a passion for that history, if maybe you grew up in an Italian family, and how do those traditions work within Italy proper, you know, not even outside of Italy, but actually in Italy, and how does that differ between Rome and, say, Milan, or Rome and Naples? But you might find that, you know, it's a more homogenous city in the sense that most people there are probably Roman, especially now with coronavirus, not as much travel within European states or European cities, definitely not as much from outside of Europe. As students, I will say this, at the time of this recording, individuals with student visas are allowed into Italy. So you as an American student will get a student visa, and or, you know, if you're an international student, we'll work with you to get an Italian visa if you don't have EU citizenship, and you can study abroad even now with some of the other travel restrictions in place. Of course, as I mentioned before, balancing school and also just being a human is already hard on main campus or wherever you go to school. But factor in the pressure of trying to have a really great time in a new city and trying to soak up every piece of Rome in just 3 months, while also trying to get good grades. You know, that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. And studying abroad, it's kind of, you know, just how study abroad works. You're going to be up against some of that pressure to have a really great time, but also do really well in your studies. A lot of students will experience loneliness or homesickness. This is perfectly natural. It's something that we talk about before pre-departure, or, you know, during pre-departure. And then while you arrive in Rome, that's usually like the first moment it really hits you, like, oh my God, I'm only here for a couple of days and already I want to go home. So how do you cope with that in a new city while, again, trying to make the most of your experience, but maybe you really miss the cheesesteak, or you really miss your dog, or you really miss your family. I think it's not something that you have to say, oh, well, I know homesickness is possible, so I'm just going to determine that, you know, I'm not going to be homesick. I know it's possible. Before I go, I'm not going to be that person that gets homesick. Instead, it's better to recognize homesickness might happen, and then be okay with it happening. You know, be okay with, gosh, this is different from maybe what I was expecting, and I kind of want to be home sometimes. But then going for a walk in Rome, going to get a gelato, going to have a coffee with a friend, reminding yourself why you're there, and recognizing these feelings of discomfort, but then moving through them. Because the second you say, like, no, it's never going to happen, that's when it really hits you. When you think you got it all figured out, that's when Rome really reminds you that you are in a new space and you need to navigate that. You're adjusting to a new life. You're not going to find the same comfort foods in the grocery store. You might find something similar, it might be called something different, but you're probably not going to find everything exactly the same as home. You're going to be making new friends, new customs, new cultural adjustments. Everything from eye contact on the bus might feel different, to like how people navigate sidewalks. I found that Italians, and Gianni, correct me if I'm wrong, but Italians don't really like moving out of the way when you're walking down the street. So there's always this little bit of game of chicken of like, who's gonna make way for the other person, who's gonna yield. And that actually, those little things, those tiny customs can kind of get to you after a while. So preparing yourself that, yeah, things aren't going to be exactly the same. Having an expectation of, I can't wait for it to be different. An expectation of, wow, this is going to be a fun and interesting adjustment, rather than an expectation of, I'm going to have the Lizzie McGuire experience. I'm going to get gelato every day and everything's going to be perfect because it's Rome. Rome's a modern city, and Rome is a wild and chaotic time in some regards. Gianni, do you want to add anything about some fun or not so fun
I mean,
things in Rome?
yeah, I also want to add, like, just in case this happens, because it's normal, as Rosie said, and we always, all the staff, especially all of us from student life, we're there to support all of you. You can come anytime and just for a chat, for a talk, and maybe asking, why is this happening to me? Like, why do the Italians do this way? Is that an Italian thing? Like, because we have a lot of questions like this. And we're there to support you all the time. As you can see, we got the student services, Francesca, Benedita, myself, also the alumni assistants are there, as Rosie was one of them, like the alumni assistants, like their students have been to Rome before, and now they're there to support the program, to help with anything. And also, like, if that is not working, like you need more help, we also have Laura Giunta, who's our licensed clinical therapist at Temple Rome. And, you know, she always say, like, come to me, even for just a talk, just a chat, anything it doesn't, you don't feel like it's good or something, there's something to talk about, come to me. She's a great person, and she can definitely help you out just in case. But sometimes you will see that after a week, 10 days, after experiencing something like, and you kind of like adjusting, and the homesickness will go away automatically as soon as you start eating the gelato and walking around Rome and having some great pizza or some great restaurant meals with your new friends. At some point, all of this, most of this will go away.
Exactly.
So.
True.
I'll leave you for the international SOS.
The hard one, the more bureaucratic one. So International SOS is our health insurance company that we work with through Temple University. So every student is automatically signed up for this service. It's a 24/7, 365 available English-speaking nurses on the phone. You can call them up, send them an email, and they'll put you in touch with an English-speaking doctor in Rome for whatever ails you. Anything from it's like cold to, oh my God, I got to get my appendix out, or I don't know what's going on. And so ISOS navigates all of that for you as students, and all of the insurance is already incorporated into what you pay for the program itself. So, or at least they'll help you navigate if there are any like intense extraneous costs, but that's going to land in like, oh my God, I, need this elective surgery out of the blue. But that, I mean, that's not something most people plan for in Rome anyway. But that's all to say, International SOS is an incredible resource that can help connect you with mental health services as well, physical health services, and the like. And of course, you have each other. You're all experiencing this probably for the first time. Maybe, it's your first time out of the country. There's other people on the program who's their first time out of the country or their first time on a plane. And most of you are probably studying abroad for the first time. It's rare that we love it when students study abroad twice, but it's certainly a rarity. So among each other, you all have this common ground that you can support each other through. All right. So hopefully you're excited about Temple Rome. Hopefully you want to go, and now you want to know how to apply. So a couple notes about eligibility. You do need to be a full-time student. So this rule is, I don't want to say relaxed, but a little bit more, we can talk about it. If you're not full-time right now, because maybe you're taking a leave of absence for the fall, or you've decided to go part-time because your classes are online, the full-time rule is mostly, all right, Liam Chase is in and out and in and out. Is he in? He's in. Okay. We want to make sure that you are comfortable with a full-time course load, because when you are in Temple Rome, you will be a full-time student, and that is required of your visa. So, if you've always been a part-time student because you're balancing classes and a job, still apply and still let me know, and we can talk about, how Rome fits into all of this. But just as kind of a base layer, we do hope that you are currently a full-time student at the time of application. The first time you can study abroad is the summer after your freshman year, so you need at least 2 full semesters of college under your belt before you apply. We do have GPA requirements, so a semester you need to have a 2.75 GPA. 2.5 for the summer, and internships do require you to have a 3.0 GPA at the time of application. And this one is a little more strict. So if you think you might be about to reach a 3.0, you know, we might have to have a discussion with Temple Rome if you're eligible for an internship or not, because more than anything, you should already have that 3.0 if you're going to apply for an internship before you get to Rome. You must also be in good academic and disciplinary standing at the time of application and through departure. So if you were to go on academic warning or a disciplinary warning between being accepted to the program and leaving for Rome, you would be ineligible to go to Rome, and we would have to have a discussion about removing you from the program. So please keep that in mind if that is hopefully not a concern, but keep it in mind. Usually when you're applying for studying abroad, it's a full semester before you end up going. So keep those grades up, stay in good academic and disciplinary standing through leaving for Rome. And obviously some upper level classes are going to have prerequisites, same as they do here on main campus. All of our courses are online. We recently updated the website for all of our fall 21 classes as well. So you'll find spring 21, summer 21, and fall 21 up there. And all the prereqs are listed if they're there, other special notes and things of that nature. And we're getting a little close on time. Sorry we're going over. I know we had some technical difficulties with the video, but I'll try to get us through this so we can have some time for questions. So application requirements itself, the application is online at studyabroad.temple.edu. You can find it either through the Rome page or at the top, applicant login, go through there. So what we ask for is not necessarily a faculty recommendation. This is something new, a new change that's occurred. What we ask for is a faculty reference. So the recommendation portion is for your academic advisor, as you'll see there on the 4th bullet point. And the faculty reference is where you'll list the name of a faculty member and their email address, so that if we have any questions about, say, your GPA or different classes you've taken, we can reach out to them and get a little bit more information. But your faculty member is not required to write a full recommendation for you. Also required within the study abroad application itself is a 200-word essay about why you're applying to Temple Rome. Please really, spend some time on this essay. I'm a real human is reading it, and it is me. And I'd love to know why Temple Rome specifically is an important move for you when you study abroad. I want to know what you want to study, what classes you want to take, who you want to work with while you're there, what kinds of ways you're going to involve yourself in volunteering. I do not, and will send it back to you, do not want to read a 200 or 150 word essay even about your love of gelato. All right, so let's focus on the academic portion of Temple Rome and what you're going to get out of this amazing experience, because that's why you're going in the first place, right? If you're applying for the architecture portion of Temple Rome, we do have an architecture studio class. You will also have to submit a portfolio, and this will be reviewed by the architecture faculty here on main campus. Again, academic advisor is required for Temple students. Non-Temple students will submit a home college approval form in lieu of this. Some deadlines. Always keep an eye on email, as sometimes deadlines shift, especially in current academic climates where, sometimes things go online or go offline. But generally speaking, the fall semester and academic year students should apply by April 1st. Spring students should apply by October 1st, so that's coming up. All students, regardless of if it's fall or spring, if you're applying for architecture, you will apply by May 1. And if you're applying for the summer term, February 15th is your deadline. Temple Rome is rolling admission, so this means that we accept students as they apply. We do, like we said, we have up to about 300 students sometimes, and that's really our max capacity. That can shift depending on what kinds of classes you're taking and the housing options, but generally speaking, if we hit a capacity, then we're going to be on a wait list. So it's always important to apply early. You will receive an admissions decision within 2 weeks of your application submission. And it's important that you're actually clicking the submit button, which you'll notice on your application when you finish it. And definitely keep in mind that for our more popular semesters like spring or the summer program, we do often go to a wait list. So make sure that you have backup options available to you, and that you're applying early if you really are dedicated to the program. I always encourage students to apply for the fall, not only because it's better weather, but we're also less likely to go to a wait list. So think about all of the semester options that are available to you, work with your academic advisor, and find the best fit before you apply. Of course, you have to, pay for studying abroad in one way or another. But what is nice about Temple Rome that makes it a little bit different from other programs that you can study abroad with through Temple is that if you are a Temple student, you're going to continue to pay your normal Temple tuition. So if you're a Tyler student, you're going to pay Tyler tuition when you go to Temple Rome. If you're a Fox student, you pay Fox tuition, et cetera, et cetera. If you go to Temple Rome for the summer, the same thing applies, but you'll be paying by the credit hour instead of by the full-time semester cost. We do have cost sheets available for all terms. At the time of this recording, we are working on our fall 21 and our spring 21 cost sheet, but you can look at some of the past cost sheets to get an idea of what some of these course excursions cost, or other like non-billable charges, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So you can use your financial aid that you use here on main campus over at Temple Rome. And we encourage you to talk to Student Financial Services about your aid package specifically before you go abroad, because there may be some differences in how you can use it between either semesters or summer. And just make sure that, all of your pieces are lined up in a row and you're ready to go before you go abroad. But you can use your financial aid at Temple Rome. And of course, there are a number of scholarship opportunities, both through our office at Education Abroad for Temple, but other outside funding. So Education Abroad does have an opportunity to apply for scholarships through our office, which you'll find when you're working on your application. But then our website also has a number of other scholarship opportunities, both outside of our office and throughout the nation. So, if you remember when you were applying for university in general, there's so many different scholarships. Maybe you grew up in a specific town and you want to study a specific thing and now you're going to Rome. There's a scholarship for that. It just takes a lot of research and a little bit of digging, but it is possible to get outside funding for sure. Some other really popular scholarship opportunities are the Gilman Scholarship, which is available to Pell Grant recipients. Vira Hines Scholarship, which we do a lot of personal advising about if you decide to apply for that through the Study Abroad office, and studyabroadfunding.org, Diversity Abroad, Foundation for Global Scholars. All of these sites also have a number of opportunities available to you. All right, well, and to say also, sorry, about scholarships really quick, there are non-billable costs, of course, of studying abroad. So while tuition might stay the same and while financial aid can go over, your flight is something that will come out of pocket. Visa costs will come out of pocket. Differences in cost of living. Rome is not an overly expensive city, but it might be more expensive from where you're calling in from. So keeping these different costs in mind and ways that scholarships can help supplement some of those costs. Sorry, so Temple Rome is a really great option because we have a broad range of academic options, everything from engineering to visual art, journalism, advertising, flexible housing options for you. You can choose to save money with an independent housing, or you can stay in one of the dorms. So many opportunities to get involved, both on campus and off campus, volunteering, gallery openings, Gianni's incredible student support staff and his crew, Dr. Laura DeJunta, who is our licensed clinical therapist who can work with you. I know I kind of breezed through how to apply and how to finance, but all of those are available in further detail on the website, which you'll see here at the bottom, studyabroad.temple.edu/Rome. And there's just 1,000,002 links for you to click through there. So in our last few minutes, I'll open it up to any questions. Feel free to take yourself off mute. or I'll pull the chat box up here, and we will, yeah, be happy to, both Gianni and I, answer any questions that you might have.
Hi, so I was curious, I think you already went over it, but I don't know if you said for this time, but I was hoping to do a whole academic year in Rome, and from like the fall 2021 to like spring 2022, so that wouldn't be up yet, would it? Or
no, it's not up yet, and thank you for mentioning that. So right now, the applications that are immediately available to students are spring 21 and summer 21. The fall 21 and spring 22, the academic year, but also those individual semesters, those open up sometime this fall. So look in your email like around November for the application to open up.
Okay, and then what do you think is the likelihood of it like not ending up online at that point? Like if we apply and then it ends up online, can we choose to push it to a different year, or?
That's a great question. My magic ball's not working right now, so I can't totally predict where everything will land, either here in the US or in Italy. But what we do right now is all students, when they're applying for Temple Rome, we're actually going to register you for a backup semester here on main campus, or wherever your home school is. We encourage you to have a backup semester just in case the worst should happen. And you either can't go to Rome anymore, or you decide you don't want to, you have that backup semester already planned out for you. If you do decide you don't want to go to Temple Rome for any reason after you apply, we can assist with copying over certain pieces of your application to future terms. Sometimes we've offered like a direct acceptance to a new term. That is going to depend both on the timing of your withdrawal and the timing of the other cycle, the other term's application cycle, if that makes sense. So like if a student from the previous, fall 20 term right now were to say, hey, I was accepted and I really want to go next semester, spring 21, I actually wouldn't be able to directly transfer their acceptance, but I could copy over a lot of other pieces from their application and work with them to finish that up. But we had offered the fall 20 students previous to today, back in June, if you're thinking you want to have a backup semester available to you, apply now and your acceptance will be automatically transferred. So while I really hope that we never find ourselves in that situation again, and while the situation in Rome right now is actually very positive and we fully expect to be able to host students in Rome spring 21 and beyond, if anything were to not look as rosy, we would make sure to work with students to move their applications along. Does that make sense? It's a very nuanced answer.
Okay, no, I kind of understand what you mean.
Okay.
And then for scholarships, would I just push to apply for those when I apply for the actual, like for Rome? Because it's not for another like year. So I don't know when I'm supposed to apply to those.
So the scholarships that are offered through Education Abroad will be available to you when the application to study abroad itself is open to you.
Okay.
So that's one space. The other is, you're more than welcome to, and I encourage you to start looking at other scholarship opportunities now. But just keep in mind that they might have their own internal deadlines based on when you plan to study abroad.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Anne. And it looks like I have a couple of questions from Carolina. So are the class trip expenses included in the cost sheet? Yes, those are. So not every class has a cost associated with it. But if you see your course number with a cost there, that's going to be on the cost sheet. So, not every class has a weekend excursion to Sicily. But if your class does, it will be on that cost sheet. We also have a question, courses on the website being finalized. So yeah, so they're finalized. Everything that's on the website is what we're offering right now for spring 21 and fall 21 and summer 21. You're correct that there are no US Society Gen Eds. I don't think it's a bad idea to try to design some US Society Gen Eds in the future. We just don't have them right now. Something to keep in mind as Temple students, when you study abroad, your World Society Gen Ed requirement is waived. So that's an extra Gen Ed requirement usually, but if you've studied abroad, you don't have to take an extra class because the act of studying abroad has waived that requirement for you. That's for Temple Rome specifically. If you're thinking at all about like an external program, triple check that it meets those requirements, because there are date requirements, course credit requirements, and things like that. But if you study at Temple Rome, World Society Gen Ed is good to go. All right, I'm gonna stop recording for a second and continue to answer questions.